And as lawmakers begin debating, a Middle Tennessee mother says her son's death is proof of a fractured system in the state to purchase guns at pawn shops and stores.
Okay, so listen to this story. Her 22-year-old son suffered from a brain injury as a child, and it left him with diagnosed behavioral problems his whole life. But Chief Investigative Reporter Jeremy Finley found even though he failed a background check at a pawn shop, just 24 hours after he bought a gun from that same place.
Here's a good one.
Cell phone videos are now the only way.
What is this preciousness?
Linda can see her son Bo.
So terribly lonely. And we go to those very sad places. I can't bring Bo back. He's gone.
On the partly sunny day Bo took his life in June, clouds were rolling in, and not just across the sky. At 22, Bo's view on the world, according to text messages, wasn't so bright anymore, writing, "I'm in crisis." What Laura didn't know is that last October, he'd gone to buy a gun, but had been denied based on a background check. A voicemail from a pawn store in Franklin confirmed it.
You were in here last night performing a background check. It was denied.
That part didn't surprise her. Bo had diagnosed mood disorders, the result of a brain injury as a child. Like the 93-degree temperatures that day in June, Bo could go very high and also very low. He'd been charged with assault as a juvenile in a treatment facility.
My son has a brain injury. He should never have access to a firearm.
So how did he get a gun through a pawn shop? Listen to the rest of the voicemail, left the very next day after Bo had been denied.
You were in here last night performing a background check. It was denied. We ran an appeal. We already got it overturned, so you can just come back in today, re-sign the paperwork, and go ahead and pick up your firearm, and you are good to go, sir.
On October 6th, Bo was told he couldn't buy a gun. Look at the time on the voicemail. On October 7th, the very next day, it was overturned. Laura doesn't know why her son was denied the gun or why it was so quickly overturned. According to the TBI that conducts the appeal process, the agency is not allowed to give out specific information about denials to anyone over the phone. And we are required to protect the confidentiality of your transaction, and you may be assured it will not be discussed with other parties. Laura believes the state's appeal process is fractured, as too many people face their own cloudy days and make permanent decisions on temporary problems.
Something in the system failed, and I think it's going to get worse.
WSMV4 Investigates asked the TBI if there is a predetermined length of time it takes to overturn a denial. A spokesman wrote back, "The appeal system is case-specific, and the time required to process them can vary, depending on the work needed to track down and verify details in question." Laura believes unless the state implements a longer period to evaluate denials, other families will suffer. It's why she wrote Governor Lee about Bo and his death before the special session.
I'm not saying people shouldn't have guns, but there's a heck of a lot of people that shouldn't have guns. That's what I know. And my son was one of them.
Jeremy Finley, WSMV4 Investigates.
We did talk to the pawn store who said Bo signed the appeal paperwork. They don't know why the TBI overturned it. You might have noticed we did not identify the family by their last name. Linda asked us not to, as she fears online harassment for coming forward about her concerns. And we also understand stories like these can be triggering for you. So if you need help and you just want to talk to somebody, you can call Tennessee's crisis hotline. That number is 855-CRISIS-1.